Today, I woke up in a bad mood with no appetite. I've been battling a cold for over 10 days, and it just won't get better. This morning, I went to the market to buy a pomelo. I'd heard that drying the peel and simmering it with rock sugar helps with coughing, so I searched for quite a while before finally finding one. Lately, I've been feeling especially down. Being alone is already hard enough, but when you keep getting sick every few days, it wears you down even more. My mind feels restless and unsettled. Going back to the village doesn't lift my spirits, so I return to the city, yet here in Haikou, I'm just as lonely. The days pass without purpose. I think about finding a job, but I don't even know what kind of work I should do. I've considered starting a business, maybe opening a shop, but I have no idea what kind of shop would work. The uncertainty leaves me feeling stuck. For the past 10 days of being sick, I've even lost the motivation to livestream. I feel like such a failure, like my life has lost all meaning. For a woman, when marriage has no happy ending and you've been unemployed for so long, it's easy to feel useless. Going home doesn't help. My parents don't welcome me, and staying here only reminds me of my loneliness. Sometimes I think being single is truly miserable. It feels like my life has turned into a sad joke. There are days when I just break down and cry uncontrollably because I missed what people call the best age for marriage. I'm 35 now and still unmarried. Life moves quickly, and at different ages, people are expected to be in certain stages. So when I see someone at 21 getting married, and I'm still alone at 32 or 35, the feeling is crushing. It's not just about wanting a partner, it's about feeling left behind while the world keeps moving forward without you.
If a girl is cheaper than a steak, such words don't just hurt the ears, they stab the heart. In this case, a private and intimate video was maliciously leaked. The girl involved was expelled from school, while the perpetrator shamelessly boasted about his so-called trophy. It forces us to ask, who truly deserves judgment here? Is it her supposed recklessness or his outright shamelessness? Girls, remember this. Self-respect is not a chain that restricts you. It is armor that protects you. Your body and your privacy are never bargaining chips, and never the price you pay to please someone else. Sometimes, in the eyes of others, you represent more than just yourself. Especially when facing foreigners, you carry the image of your people, and that image should be one of dignity. Yet after this incident, some voices pointed to her as someone fawning over foreigners, claiming that her downfall was deserved. But here's the question that burns inside me. Why is the victim always the one who is humiliated? Why do we hear insults towards a woman for not loving herself shouted louder than the condemnation of the criminal who violated her privacy? Expelling her from school may seem like a conclusion, but it is not justice. True education is not about punishing victims. It is about teaching everyone that respect for women is not an optional virtue. It is the absolute baseline of a civilized society. Leaking someone's private images is not a joke. It is not gossip. It is not just a mistake. It is a crime. And the louder we shout about the so-called shame of the victim while ignoring the actions of the perpetrator, the more we allow this cycle of injustice to continue. The focus should never be on whether the girl deserved it. The focus must be on the fact that her trust and dignity were violated, and that the person who committed that violation is the one who must bear the full weight of society's judgment. I'm 35 this year. Still single. Still alone. People think I'm too picky, but they don't know how many times I've been rejected. Some men say I'm too old. Some say I'm too independent. Some want someone younger, softer, easier to control. I once met a man I really liked. We talked for months, laughed over late-night messages, shared our dreams. I thought maybe this time was different. Then one evening he said, "You're wonderful, but my parents think you're too old for children." That night I cried until the sun came up. My parents tell me to lower my standards. But is wanting respect really too high a standard? Is wanting love without conditions too much to ask? Now I live alone in a small apartment. Sometimes I cook a nice meal just for myself. Sometimes I just eat instant noodles in silence. On weekends I walk through the crowded streets of the city, surrounded by couples and families, feeling like an outsider in my own life. People think being single at this age means I failed. But I think the real failure is losing yourself just to keep someone beside you. A few weeks ago I passed by a cafe. Inside I saw an old boyfriend with his new wife. They looked happy. I smiled and walked away, my hands in my pockets, hiding the ache in my chest. Maybe I'll meet someone one day. Maybe I won't. But even if I stay alone, I'll live with dignity. I'll keep my heart whole. And I won't trade my worth for anyone's approval.
Li Shui sat by the window of her small Shanghai apartment, watching the rain blur the neon lights outside. At 37, she had grown used to the label society gave her, Shang Nu, leftover woman. It wasn't that she hadn't tried. In her 20s, she had dated men her parents introduced through endless matchmaking dinners. But the conversations always turned into interviews. Do you own an apartment? Can you have children soon? Will you quit your job after marriage? Li Shui had a good career in marketing, earning enough to support herself, but each time she met a man, her independence seemed to scare him away. You're too strong, one said. Another told her, you're nice, but I want someone younger. Over time, the rejections piled up like invisible stones pressing on her heart. Her parents' calls grew heavier too. Why don't you lower your standards? Her mother pleaded. But Li Shui didn't think wanting respect, love, and equality was too much to ask. Sometimes she wondered if she had made all the wrong choices, choosing career over early marriage, choosing self-respect over compromise. Yet deep inside, she held on to a stubborn hope that being alone didn't mean being incomplete. She was still here, still breathing, still herself, even if the world refused to see her worth.